Today, we're looking at Diamine Onyx. Hi, I'm Adam, and I'm an ink guy. I get inks, test them, share those results with you. Now, Diamine Onyx is a black ink. And to make sure I have a range of experience with this ink, I do the writing samples, I put the ink into a different pen for a day, I then put it into a Levenger TrueWriter to take my notes for this video. But before we get to the writing samples, let's look at the sciencey bits. Up first is the chromatography, and I agree with Vita that I've learned a lot by doing multiple chromatographies. The one on the left is done the way it's supposed to be done. I put a line of ink down and immediately put it into water for 10 to 15 seconds. And what we see here is really very interesting. We get a darker gray line across the bottom. The gray pushes up, but what we see is a lot of a dark purple that joins up into the black. And I think that's what makes this a very dark black. That it's not black, but it's a something else with it, like purple. Anybody who's done paint mixing knows that you don't make black with just black, but you make black out of other colors. It makes them darker and richer. Now the one on the right, I let dry for 10 minutes before I dunk it into water. And that line across the bottom, the gray stayed, more of the purple stayed. In fact, you do not see very much of the gray pushing up, and you see the purple much more pronounced, and then all of the black that is used in making this ink. Very interesting. Resistance tests are done to see how this ink can be expected to perform on the page, and more important, how hard it might be to clean from your pen. Now I let the smear dry for 3 days before I test it. Looking at the highlighter, I would not use this ink in a note-taking situation. It spread from that extra fine up towards like almost a broad, and it feathered all over the place, and it starts to become blurry. I'm just very risk-averse to losing my notes. Water removes some of the darker tones, not even all of the darker tones. I really don't think that water is going to be enough to get this completely out of your pen. Now the pen flush got crazy when it got down. It started to spread itself all over. With what happened, in only 30 seconds, we see a lot of this ink coming off, and we do see a streak line across where we see the beginnings of the paper wanting to come through. Now this was only 30 seconds with it just sitting there. So it really does make me feel that pen flush is all that's going to be needed. Bleach, as would be expected, completely lifts it off the page. Some of that yellow staining that gets left behind is not unusual with the 1/3 bleach solution, but I do not believe it's going to take a bleach solution to get this out of your pen. For the inks I've tested, I have found an average viscosity of 2.5, with the realm of normal being from 2.1 to 2.9. Diamine Onyx has a viscosity of 2, making it a little wetter than normal. To find my average dry times, I use my writing samples done on Clairefontaine, Tomoe River, and Rhodia paper with the extra fine and medium nib. For the inks I've tested, I have found an average dry time of 17 seconds, with the realm of normal being from 13 to 21 seconds. Diamine Onyx has an average dry time of 17 seconds. Very nice. Now let's look at the writing samples. I picked this ink up in sample form, and to keep my writing samples consistent, I use a Jinhao 159 with a Goulet 1.1 stub, a Jinhao X450 with a Goulet medium, and a Jinhao X750 with a Goulet extra fine. Let's take a look at Clairefontaine. We get no bleeding, no ghosting. The 1.1 has no feather, spread, halo sheen, and no shade. The extra fine is a slightly lighter tone with no feather, spread, halo sheen, no shading, 11 seconds to dry. The medium, slightly darker tone. It's just between the extra fine and the medium as a tone goes. It has no feather, spread, halo sheen, no shade, 16 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both show us no color variation. We didn't expect it. We didn't get it. And the smear test, you could recover it if you smeared while you were writing. So, Tomoe River. Tomoe River has no bleeding, it has ghosting. The 1.1 has no feather, spread, halo sheen, and no shade whatsoever. The extra fine is the exact same tone with no feather, spread, halo sheen, or shade, 18 seconds to dry, and the exact same tone again in medium with no feather, spread, halo sheen, or shade, 24 seconds to dry. Now, the scrubby for both showed us no color variation. We didn't expect it. We didn't get it. And the smear test, there's a very strong possibility of a recovery if you smear it while you're writing. So, Rhodia. Rhodia has no bleeding, no ghosting. The 1.1 is no feather, spread, halo sheen, no shade. The extra fine has no feather, spread, halo sheen, or shade. It's the same tone that we got with the 1.1 and 13 seconds to dry. The medium gave us the exact same tone as the extra fine and the 1.1. It has no feather, spread, halo sheen, or shade, 17 seconds to dry. The extra fine and the medium scrubby show us no color variation. We didn't expect it. We didn't get it. And the smear test, you could recover this if you smeared while you were writing. White Lines paper performed very well. We had no bleeding, almost no ghosting. The 1.1 has no feather, spread, halo sheen, no shade. It becomes a true black with this gray background paper. It hasn't been a true black all the way through this, but it became a true black on this paper. Extra fine, same tone. Same tone as the 1.1 with no feather, spread, halo sheen, or shade, 2 seconds to dry. The medium is the same tone as the 1.1 and the extra fine. No feather, spread, halo sheen, or shade, 4 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both showed us no color variation. We didn't expect it. We didn't get it. And the smear test, you could recover this if you smear while you're writing. Strathmore writing paper, which the dotty lines, you don't really see them there. You can see it there. I don't care for the dotty lines. The Strathmore writing paper has no bleeding, no ghosting. It's a very nice paper, though. Just wish it didn't have any lines on it. Again, we have a very true black out of this ink. Mostly not a true black. When it's on a white paper, it is not a true black. When it's not on a white paper, it is a true black. Other than that, it's like purpley. It's a very, very dark purple in its black, although it's kind of a black, if that makes sense or not, whatever. The 1.1 has no feather, spread, halo sheen, no shade. It performs fantastically here. It looks really good. The extra fine, same exact tone with no feather, spread, halo sheen, no shade, 5 seconds to dry. That is super fast. The medium gave us the exact same tone as the extra fine and the 1.1. It had no feather, spread, halo sheen, or shade, 9 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both showed us no color variation. We didn't expect it. We didn't get it. In a smear test, you could definitely recover it if you smeared while you were writing. So this is P. Berger. It's a French rule paper. It's a student paper. The back doesn't have the ruling, which means they're not expecting you to use the back. There is some bleed spots when it comes to the medium, not so much on the extra fine. Of course, we get some on a scrubby. You could use the back of this page if you're using an extra fine. There's not really, there's tiny spots going on. It doesn't come all the way through. It doesn't touch the page underneath. It does allow you to use the back of the page if you wanted to. The 1.1 had no feather, spread, halo sheen, or shade. So it performed really well. The extra fine has no feather, spread, halo sheen, or shade, 3 seconds to dry. Same exact tone. Medium, same exact tone all the way through. This has been very good for all of that. The medium has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, or shade, 6 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both shows no color variation. We didn't expect it. We didn't get it. And the smear test, that's a very strong maybe at recovery. I don't want to say yes and I don't want to say no, but that's a very strong maybe. I think that's going to depend on the wetness of your pen. That is all that I have for the writing. Instead of finding inks that look like Diamine Onyx, I would prefer to find an ink that complements its color on the page. And I like how orange and black look together. So I chose Diamine Blaze Orange. Beautiful. Before I give my opinion on this ink, I would ask, if you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. And if it's your first time here, I would invite you to subscribe. So what do I think of Diamine Onyx? It is not a true black, as in it's only black. There's a bit of purples in there that come through in the writing, which makes me feel about how shadows truly look, where they have a lot of colors mixed together in dark tones to make the black. And that's what's going on here. This is a beautiful black ink. If you like black inks and are afraid to branch out because you don't want other stuffs in it, this one could be a really good ink to go ahead and give a sample shot to. Thanks for watching.